Hey, nerds. We understand you. Drop those controllers. Lose the wizard hat. And ready your Cheetos. It's time for some hard-hitting talk about the movies, books, and games you love. So get ready, oh searcher of useless knowledge. It's time to step into the Geek Cave. Now, broadcasting from a top secret and totally awesome hidden base, I'm Ken Harris, and here's Darrin Wright, Justin White, and Chad Savage.
Welcome to a new, completely unpatched, right on the disc edition of Geek Cave Podcast Gaming. I'm Darrin.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Chad.
And a big thank you to our sponsor, GameFly. Membership options for every budget, plus gifts for gamers of all ages. They've got thousands of titles you can keep as long as you want. And when you're done, hey, just send it back with the postage-paid envelope for a new one. Or keep it forever and pay a lot less than in-store prices. Sign up for a free 30-day trial right now. Do it now. We'll wait. You can hit pause. Oh, yeah, you need to know where to go. It's geekcavepodcast.com. Okay, we'll wait. Cool. Thank you. All right, gentlemen, welcome to the gaming segment.
I'm still waiting.
Oh. Now?
Yes.
Now good? Okay, all right, now it's good. Chad.
Yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Demo Derby.
So, have you ever wanted Dark Souls to just be easier?
Oh, yes, yes.
And play as a cat?
Go on.
Well, good news. In this RPG named Kristala, many elements are taken from the Dark Souls series of games, such as vague difficulty, lots of enemies, lots of things to keep track of, and no explanations for anything. But it's easier, and you play as a cat. You need to do some stuff in order to become a thing, and it doesn't matter because you get to live out that fantasy of being a tabaxi warrior in a world that isn't run by dice rolls.
Nice.
So let's be clear. Let's be clear. This game is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it is competent, and as we've discussed, sometimes competence is better than perfection.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
It has been released in early access on Steam, but I played on the PS5, and there is no firm release date yet. So this is still really early days for Kristala. You make your character, you choose some spells, and then you run off into the wilderness to fight heavily armored mice. Receive quests, explore a mildly open world, and by mildly, I think more Kingdoms of Amalur than Skyrim. You know, where you have like a zone to explore.
Yeah, regions.
And you can explore that zone however you want, but you can't just like see mountain, go to mountain.
Right.
Environments that are complex enough to give different options for solving a scenario. You know, want to balance your way on the wires above and avoid combat? Go ahead. You want to charge in, sword flashing and spell slinging? Go ahead. You want to jump from any height and take no fall damage? Go ahead. Cats always land on their feet. Do you want to swim across that area that's super close? Well, you can't, because cats don't dig on water.
Okay.
There's some jittery camera. The leveling up is super gradual, like saying, hey, I'm going to put an experience point into my strength to do a little bit more of this. And my damage went from like 140 to 140.3.
Technically an increase.
It's technically an increase, but like super slow. And yet, this was a hoot. I may very well pick this game up when it releases. Definitely the demo, maybe the game.
If it releases.
If it releases. Well,
what's the title again?
Kristala, Kristala.
All right. Awesome. I'm glad you had a good time there.
Me too.
Okay. We'll get back to Chad in a bit. Justin.
Hi.
Our data cap is almost at limit. Looks like you spend a lot of time on Reddit for some reason.
But I was in privacy mode. How do you know that?
Privacy mode doesn't hide. What have you been doing, man? Podcast related. What have you been doing?
Ask Justin. The Geek Cave Podcast and its associates, including Justin, do not condone the advice given in this segment.
Thank you, Nigel.
Nigel, we're going to circle back to that.
So this is my Ask Justin segment where I have a ton of video game knowledge, but I don't get to play much, so I answer questions from Reddit's Ask Games to give them definitive answers. And this month's question is, help, gift ideas for gamer husband. You'll want to check out our Week 3 Holiday Gift Guide episode from November 18th, 2025.
That is amazing. I love self-promotion.
Yes.
Good job. No notes. No notes. That's a good episode. Go pick it up.
So no need to circle back to anything. Moving on. Chad, what else you got?
Hold on. Yes, we will. We'll move. We're going to circle back to that. But anyway, gaming involves more than just video games. There's also tabletop games, and Chad knows a lot about that. Chad, you got Monster Minute for us here?
Oh, I do. Do you know what's better than a Knigget? A questing Knigget.
Yeah.
Now, why is that, you're asking? Why is a questing knight better than a knight? Well, because you are taking a knight and giving him purpose. This is no monster. This is a motivated agent of change in your world. Is this questing knight aligned with your party's goals? What a boon to your players. This questing knight may be an ally or a patron. Is this questing knight opposed to your players? What a horrible Knigget for a curse. This may be a recurring villain to your players from early levels until even to the middle of the campaign, because the questing knight is no slouch in any real capacity. Their lowest stat is intelligence with an 11, which is still a +1. Or plus? Nope, it's a +0, but it's almost +1. They are intelligent enough to reason. They are strong enough and dexterous enough to be dangerous in battle. They're healthy enough to drink with the best of them, and charismatic enough to not have to pay for those drinks. It is practically a paladin. The questing knight gives its allies immunity from the charmed or frightened condition. In any combination, it makes 3 attacks per turn with a greatsword or longbow. And just picture that for a second of 3 longbow attacks in a round when your party is still like 150 feet away.
Oh, Lord.
Right? It has even a handful of spells it can cast. A fairly robust armor class of 18, an average of 202 hit points. This is an ally or an enemy to your low-level party, and as long as you make sure that they have an oversized personality, you'll have a character that your players may love or hate, but they're going to remember him.
All right. Now, this is still based on the recent rule change for D&D, right?
No, yeah, this is based on the 2024 Monster Manual and this is only the new stuff.
Gotcha.
Knights were in the old one. The questing knight is basically its upgraded brother.
I love it. All right. So, I played a few games. Have you guys played anything?
Good for you. Way to fulfill those contractual obligations.
Have you guys played anything?
I've been playing Fallout 3 again. Fallout 3 is amazing. It is so much fun. Liam Neeson as your dad is nice.
You have to find him instead of him finding you, though.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's fiction.
It is an ugly to look at game, but it's fun, and I like it.
Good deal.
I'm still working my way through Murdered Soul Suspect. Still fun.
Yeah, you played a little bit of that for our Extra Life Marathon.
I did, yes.
Which you can find on our YouTube channel.
Yes, you can.
All right, cool. Extra-life.org, by the way. Last check, we passed, as a global unit, more than $10 million for Children's Medical Network hospitals. So we're accepting donations through the end of the year at geekcavepodcast.com. A couple of short reviews before we get to the main event. Daemon X Machina, Titanic Scion. That is a mouthful. Basically, it's a sequel to Daemon X Machina, which came out on the Nintendo Switch. I played this on the Switch too. That tracks. You can see some gameplay video on our Twitch and our YouTube channels. So the first one, you piloted like Gundam-sized mechs, right? And it was the story in both of these is garbage. But basically, in the first one, you were a mercenary taking on jobs to try to keep these rogue AIs from taking over what's left of the planet. They called it the Red Planet instead of Earth. I don't know where you are. Neither do they. But it was fine. The sequel, you have a much more character-focused campaign where you pilot something closer to an Iron Man suit, and as is video gaming law, whenever I choose a female protagonist in a sci-fi game, I model it after Samus Aran from Metroid because that's how I roll. And gameplay's fine. I mean, the guns are a little slow, but I think that's because they encourage you to use melee. You get a series of... each trigger can do something that either your left arm or your right arm is doing. So you can have a sword in your left hand and a gun in your right hand. Then you got the two shoulder buttons. One is for dodge and one is for like homing missiles or a tertiary weapon. And the flight controls are good. It's just another reminder / condemnation about the gaming industry's refusal to do Superman as a game because, flight controls are good. Combat's fine. The problem is, much like Daemon X Machina was, it is a very forgettable game. The visuals are okay. The gameplay is good. The story is take it or leave it, standard, anime-inspired, trite. But and I love anime, but this is like, when I say standard trite, that's what I mean. It's standard. This is a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6.5 out of 10.
Wow.
So for my 5-point scale, it's right at like a C+. It's fine. Not great. Something you should rent from GameFly. And then see for yourself. Because there are some people that are going to love this game. And mech suits, I thought it was right up my alley, but not this time. So
Okay.
Update to last month, I gave you just a little bit of insight on Ghost of Yotei. I have completed the game, 100%ed it. It's around Act 2, definitely by Act 3, I went from being, okay, this is pretty good, to I am locked in. There's some story beats that really hit pretty hard. The whole theme of the game, in Ghost of Tsushima, was about, is it better to stick to tradition or is it better to do what is necessary? Whereas this one is like, is it better to cling to revenge or is there a better way, to move forward? Because, Atsu's family is murdered within the first minute of the game. And so the rest of it is basically this campaign for vengeance. And then how far do you go for vengeance? When does that become too far? And what are the consequences of living a life based on revenge? Spoiler alert, bad. But the gameplay is just as good, if not slightly better. In fact, I would say this is as good as Ghost of Tsushima, which Ghost of Tsushima, when it came out, was one of my favorite games of the year and is still a very, very, very good game. So it's worth checking out. I wish I could remember the name of the actress who voices Atsu. She's on Dropout TV, and I would know it if you say it. Erika...
Oh, Erika Ishii.
Yeah, Erika Ishii. Fantastic work as Atsu. Not really a bad vocal performance from anyone, unlike in Assassin's Creed Shadows, where the NPCs were very clearly voiced by someone who did one take and called it a day. Everyone... The game is a labor of love. And again, Sony once again proves why they are a phenomenal first-party publisher. And if you don't have a PS5, I'm sure it'll hit PC eventually. It's definitely worth picking up. So, it's an A. Ghost of Yotei is an A. All right. No further business. Let's get to it, Kent.
It was created by a madman. ignored and rejected. Every week it grows. We cannot kill it, for it does not live. Step fast and be wary, or you may fall victim to Darrin's Pile of Shame.
My friends, welcome to the last entry of the year of PlayStation for Darrin's Pile of Shame. Over the past 12 months, we have celebrated the 30th anniversary of the PlayStation brand with some of the highest of highs, lowest of lows, and creamiest of middles. Unfortunately, this one's going to tick some people off. Because
Way to end on a high note.
here's the thing. I played this game when it first came out, back when it was like, what year was this? 2000. Yeah, I played it when it first came out. I beat it. It's part of a beloved franchise. But every once in a while, we hear talk of, all right, well, we need to have this, this game needs to have a remake. And this game needs to have a remake. And this one is consistently talked about. It's celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. It is Final Fantasy IX. And it is the only Final Fantasy game I have wanted to not replay. So when I revisited this one, guys, I was right. All right, let's do the bad first, and then we'll get to the good. So, well, first some background. Final Fantasy IX is about really two main characters. Zidane, who is a thief who works for this, I like to call them mercenary actors, because they go around putting on stage performances, and then while they're doing the performance, they do the mercenary work as well. So Tantalus is the group, and they've been hired to do this big performance of, I don't remember the exact name of the play. I wish I'd written it down. Something, You Are My Canary, whatever. But it's supposed to be this big Romeo and Juliet-esque type play, and they've been hired to perform it in front of Queen Bran at Alexandria Castle, but the real reason they're there is to kidnap the princess, Garnet. They've been hired to kidnap her by her uncle. More on that in a bit. But turns out they didn't have to try that hard. Garnet wants to be kidnapped. She really wants to be kidnapped. So they try to sneak in to capture her, and she's already on her way out of the castle, and she's like, hey, are you with Tantalus? I'm coming. And she just basically walks onto the boat. Now, the reason that Garnet wants to get out of Alexandria, and the reason her uncle is trying to smuggle her out, is Queen Bran has been acting more and more erratically out of her pursuit of something called Eidolons. Now, if you are a Final Fantasy fan, think summons. Big monsters you can summon that can do a hell of a ton of damage. So, apparently, Garnet has some kind of connection to them. We don't know why, but Queen Bran is really, really wanting to get them out of her. But she's also willing to kill if she has to. So when the pirate ship, the pirate thespian ship, starts taking off, Garnet shoots it down. Knowing her daughter's on board, doesn't care. She shoots it down. They land in front of something called the Evil Forest. That is its name.
It's quite a lovely place, actually.
It's a shithole. One of the Tantalus members gets turned to stone. The whole forest is petrified because of shenanigans. And then you're off on this quest to get this princess where she needs to go, while also having to put up with her retainer, a bumbling paladin named Steiner, who at every turn, despite all evidence in front of him, is convinced that Zidane, that's the main character, is a bad guy, and he's just looking to profit off of the princess. And he's like, I just want to deliver her, and then we'll go our separate ways. I'm not in it for anything else, dude. Of course, he falls in love with her, but it is what it is. So, that's just a bit of the story. It gets weirder. There are 4 main villain changes. Normally, Final Fantasy does that once in a game. There are 4. More on that again in a bit, because I'm about to get into the bad. All right. Combat. Chad does not like turn-based RPGs. Did you know this?
I did not, and I don't either.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's fair. It's a gaming style. If you do play this game, play it on the PS4 or PS5 because it offers you the ability to speed up the gameplay at like double speed. However, it also speeds up your movement and the text and literally everything else. And you need to speed up the combat, though, because it is so freaking slow. Most Final Fantasy games of this era had like this little meter on the screen, and when it filled up, you took your action. You know, this one fills up, and then it waits a bit, and it's like, I'll take your action when I'm bloody well ready to take your action. You know, so a lot of times you will just get pummeled by whatever monsters you're facing, even though you have a full attack bar. You've already made your choice of what you're going to do. Eventually, it does it, but the combat is a slog. I also recommend if you're playing on the PS4 or PS5 or PC, you turn on 9999 mode, which means every hit you do is a crit, and it'll get you out of battle so much faster. Some of the story is convoluted at best. It starts off as a dispute between nations, then it becomes about stealing powerful magic, then it becomes about destroying the world to make up for losses that another planet suffered. That's right, aliens are also involved. You've got predictable, the bad guy isn't the real bad guy twists that happens. Let's see. Queen Bran is the first antagonist. Then we find out that Kuja is a guy who's got like a monkey tail or something. He's pulling her strings. But then you find out that there's a guy above him named Garland who's pulling his strings. But then we circle back to Kuja. And then finally there's something called Necron, which, as far as I can tell, is God. So, yeah. The body count is much higher than I anticipated this game having. Most Final Fantasy games have a pretty high body count. Just ask Sector 7 in Final Fantasy 7. Or ask Trabia Garden in Final Fantasy 8. But I counted 4 genocides in Final Fantasy 9.
Ooh.
Which is at least twice as many as I am accustomed to in these games. Speaking of genocides, one of the characters who joins your party at a later date and is presented as completely... not compassionate, but like presented as this is a good person. She gleefully participated in 3 of those genocides, doesn't apologize once, and nothing of consequence is done.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. The Desert Palace can straight up bite me. See, there's a sequence in this palace late in the game where you need to turn on or light all these candles in order to get to like where the boss is. And they tell you right up front, all you got to do is light all the torches. That's it. Right up front, which should have been my first warning. So you light all the torches, but you can't find all the torches because some of the doors in this palace only open if torches are not lit.
Oh, God.
And it turns out that to get to the final door, 2 torches are not lit. So much for lighting all of the torches. Random encounters are... horrible, and I'm glad that with the remake trilogy and with later Final Fantasies, they finally got rid of them because random encounters suck, and they are all over the place here. Did I mention, in the Desert Palace, there is a sequence where you're playing as a frog, and I don't need to give you any context. You're a frog with a mustache. Deal with it, right? And you need to get a hold of a key that is attached to this monster's cage to save the rest of the party. You have 6 minutes to do it. And you have to tiptoe. How do you tiptoe? You rapidly tap the X button over and over again. But stop, because the monster turned around. And if it sees you, you got to start all the way back over. Timer doesn't reset. Keep rapidly mashing that button. Okay, you finally got the key. You had to turn around. For me, it was like 8 or 9 times. I've got 2 minutes left. Fine. What do you mean I'm not done? Oh, there's a series of weights nearby and a scale, and I need to figure out how many weights to put on the scale.
Oh, no.
To balance it properly so I can reach a switch to turn off the gas that is going to kill my party.
Uh-huh.
Also, one of the main characters is a 6-year-old kid, which, I mean, it's an RPG from Japan. You're going to have children as part of your party. This 6-year-old kid keeps flirting with the main character. It's really uncomfortable. And she won't stop.
No.
Now the good. This is the least serious.
It had an end.
This is the least serious of the PS1 trilogy. You've got Final Fantasy VII, which is dark. You got Final Fantasy VIII, which is about, what are the ethics of teen mercenaries being led into war? This one has a lot of silliness mixed in with the standard fantasy type storyline. You're saving the princess from her own power-hungry and homicidal mom, but her mom looks weird and cartoonish, and it seems lighthearted. And then all of a sudden you're hit with, hey, Vivi, this black mage, which is probably one of the most recognizable characters from the game. Even if you've never played it, you've seen this character somewhere. It's like a kid with like a blue jacket, like a black face with yellow eyes, a pointy hat, This kid doesn't know where he came from, but he does know that there are other black mages like him. They've been created for war, and they die within a year of being born. He doesn't know how old he is.
Oops.
And so you've got something who's about the size of a 9-year-old asking questions like, what'll happen when I stop moving? Now, on one hand, this is dark, and I don't like that. But on the other hand, it's kind of silly when you think about it. Because it's the same character who's also like, in the same conversation, who'd go from like, I can't stop thinking about what'll happen if I die, and then, ooh, ice cream, and then he's just completely distracted by that.
Squirrel.
As a child, yeah. So, also, the 6-year-old we're back to, she's had to live alone in the ruins of her own civilization, which you would think lead to whiplash, but somehow they made it work for the most part, because she's also surrounded by a bunch of cute little cuddly animals.
Oh, well, there you
go.
go.
So it's working out for her. Guys, I put 39 hours into this game.
Holy cow.
Which, that's about average for a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, but still.
Turns out there's a speed run ability. Some people out there have figured out how to beat it in 12.
Huh.
Yeah. Not me, though.
Play it on triple speed.
Not me, though. I don't get why people like this game. I really don't. I played it through to completion when I was, in between high school and college, but that was back in the time before we had gaming services and Game Pass and GameFly and all that stuff, where if you had a game, you played and beat the game because that's the game you have. That kind of thing. I don't get why people want a remake for Final Fantasy IX over better entries like 6 or 10 or even 8, which I admit has a stupid combat setup, but it would benefit the most from a remake. I can see what draws some people to this game. The characters are cute. The art style is cute. Whatever. But it's about as deep as the puddle behind my house. Not very. This gets 3 black mages destined to die at a young age out of 5. I'm sorry. I tried. I didn't like Final Fantasy VI all that much, but Final Fantasy VI at least allowed you to suplex a train, so that makes it better than this. And there's some people that are going to kill me for the Final Fantasy VI take as well. Anyway, be sure to listen to our... I digress for a second. I need to tell you about what we're doing for the Pile of Shame in the coming year.
Oh, yes.
Because I've already got the plans. This coming year, I'm calling it, swear to God, I'm actually going to play it this time. And the first title, Nier Automata. So stick around for that.
Okay.
All right. Be sure to listen to our other podcasts, including... comics, which went up yesterday, movies, which goes up tomorrow. There's also You Want Me to Watch What, which is a fun bi-weekly movie podcast, the Week 3 podcast, where we talk about whatever. This coming Week 3 podcast, The Golden Justins. We also have the occasional TLDR. You can find us on Twitch. You can find us on YouTube. You can find a bunch of links to our socials at geekcavepodcast.com. Be sure to join the Discord so you can chat with us one-on-one, play Wordle with us, get early access to podcasts, and a lot more good stuff. This month, I am going to sign off from using quotes from Final Fantasy IX because the writing is pretty good at times. So for Kit Harris, to hell with looks, it's what's inside that counts. Justin White, so happy. And Chad Savage, you don't need a reason to help people. I'm Darrin Wright. I keep telling you, people who eat pickles are nice people. Reminding you that fighting and killing God is a fairly common occurrence for JRPGs, and everyone is a geek for something.